Give me 1 second. All right, what's up, everybody? It's your good old boy JR coming to you live from Las Vegas, Nevada. As always, it is Wednesday, so it is prediction time, and here is the man himself, Brandon. What's happening, my man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
You're good. You're
Okay.
good. You're good.
All right.
All right, so we are all set. It is week 10. So we are now into the port of the season where it is double digits. There is only 8 more weeks of this whole season, and then playoff starts. So 2 more months, and then it's playoff time, man. So it's go time. I mean, I can't believe we're already here, and it's just an exciting time right now. I think teams are starting to figure out, hey, maybe we're just not good enough this upseason. Let's just finish what we can, and then we'll work through the draft. Some teams are trying to make a last second push, and some teams are this close to punching their ticket in. So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. But I'm ready to get this thing started. How about you? I think I lost them again. Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I think we lost you.
Yeah.
I think
I
we
guess.
lost you a little bit. I think so. But
Uh,
we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going. No worries, no worries. Until we'll see what's up with Brandon. I think we lost him for a little bit, and then we'll go from there. First off, we have the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Carolina Panthers. A couple weeks ago, they had an amazing game where it was just one of those things where people just had a good time, and I think we'll get Brandon back on here for the people that are wondering. We will get him back on. And Carolina had an amazing game a couple weeks ago, and it was amazing. It was fun. A lot of mishaps in that one. That was the game where DJ Moore caught a very impressive Hail Mary catch, and then he took off his helmet and threw it across the field and got penalized. And now instead of a 20-yarder extra point, it became close to a 48-yarder. And of course, the kicker missed it. And then he also missed the 3 points to kind of win the game as well. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it happens. And here we are again. 2 weeks later, they meet on Thursday Night Football. And I think everybody's just really excited to see how this is going to turn out. So, Brandon, I'll let you start off, my man. Who do you have? Do you have the Atlanta Falcons or do you have the Carolina Panthers?
I literally need Atlanta to lose, but I just don't think they're gonna lose. I got Atlanta.
Oof. Just like that. We're right off the gate.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand why you need Atlanta to lose because of certain entities and aspects of the game, but I get it. It's just not gonna happen, man.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Because if after that statement, I got Atlanta too.
Yeah,
Look, the only reason I'm going Atlanta, not because of their talent, not because of their talent. I'm going because Carolina has named Baker Mayfield the starting quarterback for this week, and I am okay going with moving forward. That as long as Baker Mayfield is the starter for Carolina, Carolina will not win another game. So give me Atlanta in this one.
Oh yeah, I know PJ Walker sucked against Cincinnati, but Baker Mayfield.
I think they announced it today. Where I think Baker Mayfield is gonna. Baker's all right. I mean, it's just nah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. He's literally this season been below average. Like below average.
Better than is that really a bar for a former? Is that really like we're talking about? I mean, so was Mariota, and a lot of people are willing to have Mariota as their starter than Baker Mayfield.
I would take Marcus Mariota right the fuck now. Give him to us, and I promise you we will be what the fuck we need to be. This is bullshit. I will never. he is like the bar, level bar. He's like the last stage of that, like just to the bottom of the limbo bar. Like he is that bad.
Like it's just I mean, you ever seen that meme where it says our expectations for you were low, but holy shit. That's Baker Mayfield. Like our expectations for you were low for Carolina, but holy shit. Like the fact that everybody was about to announce PJ Walker like the next starting quarterback for Carolina for a while, and then he had a terrible game last week, and now he's going to start. And listen, Atlanta's got this. I think now that Cordell Patterson's back, the running game's intact. You saw it last week. It's just one of those things now where Atlanta's really. Here's the thing about Atlanta. Nobody's really expecting Atlanta to do anything, but they're so in it because that division is so bad. And it's anybody's division still. And even your team, you guys can pull a couple of stacks here and hopefully get something going. But I got Atlanta. It's just there's nothing about Carolina where I look at it and say, okay, they got this.
The one win against Tampa was just unexpected.
Yes.
Tampa came in thinking they were better than them. Clearly they were, but still. You can't underestimate a team like that when they just traded literally their franchise player. And they don't know, they really are showing you, they really have no direction. And they're not really planning for anything except a draft pick. So when Tampa went in there and they got their ass whooped, I'm not really that surprised. It feels like right now Carolina's starting to really play the way we expected Carolina to play without Richmond effort.
Yeah.
And Atlanta's going to take advantage of that Thursday night. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina magically wins either. But at the same time,
I just have more confidence in Atlanta handling business. I just have more confidence in Atlanta handling their business against Carolina. So we'll see. Next up, we got Seattle taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a super early morning game in Munich, Germany. Guten Tag, bitches. It is football in Germany time. So Seattle and Tampa Bay are going to travel to Germany to play a football game and everything because of, I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know what else to think about it, but it is what it is. So Seattle, an impressive 6-3. The NFC West leading Seattle Seahawks at 6-3 will be taking on the NFC South leading 4-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's where we are in football, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are in football. And you know, I know the Germans love football, but man, I don't know. Like it's kind of what it is, you know. It is what it is. So, so Brandon, who do you have? Do you have Geno Smith or Tampa Bay? Yeah. Gotten him, but
the one thing about
this is going to be an all German section, so just be prepared for that.
The one thing about Tampa Bay that they don't do good on defense is stop the run up the middle.
And Seattle's actually really good at that.
And they can't stop big, fast receivers. They got Tyler Lockett, they got DK Metcalf. I'm pretty sure Seattle's going to be okay. And on top of that, you hear Tom Brady pretty much saying for literally since the game was over, we got to be better prepped when we go into these games because if we don't, things like dropping the ball, losing possessions before we even get the play really out there. He's literally telling you Todd Bowles don't know what the fuck he's doing.
Without being indirect about it, basically. He's telling you indirectly, directly what's going on.
He's telling you Todd Bowles don't know what the hell he's doing. He's telling you this. And people are like, Todd, you don't figure it out. No, that's the problem. They don't know what they're doing. Todd Bowles has never been that head coach. And the person that Todd Bowles drafted is the quarterback he's playing against.
Yeah.
People forget Todd Bowles drafted Geno Smith. First round. People forget that. I'm pretty sure Geno remembers that.
Second round. He drafted in the second round.
Yeah, but he drafted him.
He drafted him. I get it. I understand. I understand.
Took him, tried to throw Mark Sanchez to the wolves and try to make Geno Smith a quarterback, and neither one of them fit the damn team because he wasn't the right man. Guess what? This is one of those examples where somebody's just better as a defensive coordinator or a coordinator than they are a head coach.
Got it.
And he fits that damn description. He just doesn't know what he's doing as a head coach. There's too many things defensively that he's supposed to be great at that they can't do anymore. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, we have our problems, but certain people that's just out. They are not hurt. Their secondary has always been bad. Their defense has doesn't have the defensive tackles anymore to stand up to the run. It's getting bad out here, and I don't think Tom Brady can fix that magically. Like I said today, the Rams just stupid. They literally just let that man just drive down the field and thought they were eventually just going to step it up at the red zone. No, that doesn't work. You have to get on them. And one thing about Seattle, they got cornerbacks that will stop and be aggressive with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin for the entire freaking game.
Halfway into the season, I think I'm willing to go out there and say that I think the Seattle Seahawks had the best draft class as a whole. I mean, really think about it. Charles Cross, good left tackle. Abraham Lucas, great right tackle. Kenneth Walker, he's up for discussion for Offensive Rookie of the Year with Damian Pierce and Chris Olave. Tariq Woodley, amazing cornerback. I mean, Kobe Bryant, he paid opposite of Gardner, and Kobe's doing his thing. So is it safe to say that maybe Seattle just had the best draft? Yeah, of course Seattle had the best draft class this year. That's after seeing what we saw or what we've seen, the reason Seattle is doing amazing is because that draft class hit. If it didn't hit, we wouldn't probably be talking about Seattle the way we are right now. But luckily, Seattle hit, and Geno Smith resurrected into West Virginia Geno Smith. And that's great for him. That's great for him. Now, is it still a possibility that he's just still the stopgap quarterback for Seattle? Abso-freaking-lutely. But right now, it has to feel good for a Seahawks fan to know that, hey, they're making noise, and they're going to go into the playoffs, whether that's a wild card spot or actually winning the division. So kudos to them. So I got Seattle on this one too. And it's not even a talent factor, to be honest with you. It's not even a talent factor. It's the fact that Seattle's more healthier than Tampa Bay. The one thing that everybody feared Tampa Bay for the last few seasons was that front seven. They don't have that anymore. It's very apparent that they don't have that anymore. The secondary still can't do what they need to do. The last great performance by that secondary was the Super Bowl. Since then, it has been missing. They stayed at that, they never came out. Like, those dudes that are wearing the jerseys are some other dudes. Like, those guys never stopped partying. Like, that was their best thing ever. So I'm going to go Seattle on this one too. I just think that, and here's the thing, forget Tyler Lockett, forget DK Metcalf. Kenneth Walker is a man of a monster. The dude can run. And I'm going to be honest with you. If Breece Hall didn't get injured, we'd probably be talking about Breece Hall in the conversation for Offensive Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
I was just about to say that. I'm about to say the Jets up there too with the draft class.
The Jets did a really good job. They did it. Now, is it better than Seattle's? Probably not, but it's up there. It's up there. So, yeah, I'm going to go Seattle in this one, only due to the fact it's not even a talent factor. It's just Seattle's more healthier. And believe it or not, they can actually stop Leonard Fournette because they have two defensive tackles that know with Al Woods and Quentin Jefferson, who is really damn good. So give me Seattle on this one.
This is going I feel bad with Tom Brady. I really do. Because he's going to get hit a lot in this game.
Yeah.
It's not even good. He'll get hit a lot in this game.
We're not there yet. And the Jets are on the bye. Hang in there. Next up, we got a very important matchup. Possibly a Super Bowl. No, I'm kidding. I can't say that with a straight face. We have the 7-1 Minnesota Vikings taking on the 6-2 Buffalo Bills. Now, you would think that, hey, I think Minnesota finally got their match and everything. But here's the problem. Josh Allen is dealing with an elbow injury. It's actually a nerve to the elbow. Sort of kind of like there's a certain quarterback in Los Angeles that's kind of dealing with that right now. And their offense hasn't looked explosive. But anyway, TJ Hawkinson had an amazing debut last week for Minnesota. 9 targets, 9 catches, 90 yards, and a touchdown. So, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I know. And Buffalo, they had not really. Well, I guess it wasn't upset to many. But the Jets just played really well defensively that they did enough to win. So, Brendan, I ask you, who do you got? Do you have the Minnesota Vikings or do you have the Buffalo Bills?
That's what I got. Josh Allen is healthy, and this is like primetime TV. I'm going Buffalo. It's not even close.
Well, it is not prime time. It is 10 in the morning.
The Minnesota, boy, point did you get lucky? Y'all know, oh my God, Minnesota got so lucky. I got Minnesota. I got them, but it's just like, they not just draw the best luck ever.
Yeah. Ooh, and we even have a point spread. We got let me see, who was that? Mason Street. Yeah, Minnesota by 6. Oh, here we go. And we got points.
Listen, I think the Vikings win this game because we don't know what the hell's wrong with Josh Allen. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a massive problem.
It's the unknown factor, is what it is.
And the one thing he does better than throwing the ball is running the ball. And he can't take those hits no more because it's elbow. So it's just like they're kind of tied. It has a tie for Buffalo. This is the thing about having an offense like that with a guy that does what he does. When you get injured, you're kind of tied now. We don't know what the hell you can really do with your offense now. And that kind of is what this is. Now, they can run the ball. Then that's a different conversation. But again, who's a running back?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Minnesota got lucky. They got this is the easiest. It should be. Let me write it back. It should be the easiest game. I would not be surprised if Kirk Cousins does turn back into a pumpkin and throw like 3 picks. Because it's such a lie that they should win. They could lose too. So
yeah. No. I mean, I get it. It's the unknown factor. It's the whole, what's up with Allen? How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to roll with it? But here's my problem now. I think that trade Minnesota did with Detroit of them adding TJ Hawkinson really helped them out. And it showed because now it's opening everything. It's opening for Dalvin Cook. It's opening for Justin Jefferson. I mean, he finally got a touchdown pass since week 1. He's getting his yards, but he's not getting his touchdown passes, which is what we're used to seeing. And even Adam Thielen is becoming a little bit of a factor now. So I guess in the end of it, as long as Dalvin Cook is healthy, and let's face it, Josh Allen is the whole key to this Buffalo team. Yes, they have an amazing defense, but they can only take you so far until Josh Allen is the reason why we expected you guys to go to the Super Bowl. And so I guess with that being said, I get it. Bills Mafia is going to be out in full force because they need Bills Mafia on Sunday. They're going to need them, and they're going to need them bad. This is going to be the one time where a team's actually going to look forward to having fans in the stands. And I think that's what's going to get it done. I just do not trust in Kirk Cousins. I think even then, I know this is going to sound weird, but I'm actually going to go Buffalo in this one. The reason being, I have a feeling that Kirk Cousins is due for one bad game. And this is the defense where it finally happens.
It feels like it. Don't it feel like it's too damn easy? It's too easy for Minnesota. And it feels like this is one of those games where they're going to be feeling themselves a little bit too damn much.
Yep.
I mean, like we said this morning, Kirk Cousins on playing dance with ice on his neck.
Yep.
It kind of feels like you're celebrating a Super Bowl that your ass ain't never been in. It's just like, pump the brakes. It is one of those games. Von Miller is going to introduce him to the brakes very fast.
So that's why I have him in this situation. That's why I think Kirk Cousins is due for one bad game, and I think it's against a defense like the Buffalo Bills. So give me the Buffalo Bills over the Minnesota Vikings.
I got Minnesota. I just don't know what Josh Allen's going to be, man.
And here's the thing. You would think everything is in favor for Minnesota, right?
It does feel that way.
But then you also think, oh my God, it is Kirk Cousins. And time. Okay, Kirk, we just need you to not mess it up. And
I just want to say, last week against Washington, if that wasn't a game that they should have lost, I've never seen one.
Yeah, exactly. You see where I'm going with this? And Buffalo's defense is a little bit better than Washington, so we'll see. Next up, we got a fun one here. We got the Detroit Lions taking on the Chicago Bears. Detroit causing Aaron Rodgers all sorts of problems last week. And Chicago, Justin Fields. For the last 5 weeks, Justin Fields has been the best quarterback in fantasy. Maybe not overall in NFL world, but in fantasy world, Justin Fields has been the best quarterback that you can have. So, Brandon, I ask you, who do you have? The Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears after Justin Fields just ran for 178 yards all over the Miami Dolphins defense.
But Miami Dolphins suck.
Okay. Yeah.
Their defense sucks.
Yeah.
It's great they got Bradley Chubb. They still suck. They still have problems with their damn front. I don't give a damn they got Bradley Chubb. I don't care. Miami gave up 32 points to Chicago. The only difference is Chicago's defense just as bad.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be their problem again this week. I got Detroit. Detroit is starting to catch their rhythm now. Yeah, 15 points, but it's Green Bay. I get it. You weren't trying to be too damn over the top with it. But Detroit still has explosiveness. They just got to get back to it offensively. And they got a little bit more playmakers on their defense than Chicago does. And I just cannot see, as good as Justin Fields is, and as good as that offense could be one day, I just don't see them beat Detroit. I got Detroit. I think that win was more important than people think. Detroit needed that win to wake them up and say, you know what, we might not be the team we wanted to be this season, but we still have something here where we can win those games when we need to. So I think Detroit wins this season.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Detroit as well on this one. Not because I believe in them or anything like that. I mean, I jumped off that train after the New England game. But the problem is, I think it bodes well to know that Chicago's actually going to build around Justin Fields because of the whole. And I know it's weird to say that because of the Roquan Smith trade, Chicago is willing to build around Justin Fields, which is awesome. Because I think he deserves that shot. He deserves a shot to have an opportunity to have a real offensive line, real offensive weapons. So that's just me. What I will say about this game, though, is that defense for Chicago finally showed it's like, okay, with Roquan Smith, it was okay at best. Without him, there's no chance. There's no chance this team survives. There's nothing in the world that, and you would think one man can do that. Yes, one man can do that. And he did do that. So I'm going to go Detroit here because I don't think anybody's going to stop DeAndre Swift. I don't think anybody's going to stop Equanimous St. Brown this week. I don't know if Jalen Johnson is back from injury. Eddie Jackson does not look like the former player that he once was. And honestly, now that everybody's kind of gone, Robert Quinn's gone, Roquan Smith's gone, the front seven is not as effective as it used to be in years past. So I'm going to go Detroit. And the offensive line for Detroit is just that much better than the front seven of Chicago. And vice versa. I think the defensive line of Detroit is better than the offensive line of Chicago. Give me Detroit. Moving on. The return of Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos after an impressive victory over the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. They are back, ready to take on a team that just lost to Kansas City in a very, very heartbreaking way. The Tennessee Titans. Denver trying to get back-to-back wins for the first time this year. The Tennessee Titans are trying to find a way to come back and make up for that game against the Kansas City Chiefs, which, by the way, Malik Willis, he played his butt off. I granted he didn't have a great passing day number, but really, who was he going to throw to? And Treylon Burks is now off of IR, so maybe that's the key. Maybe Malik Willis and Treylon Burks can have a connection that him and Ryan Tannehill couldn't. So we'll see. But Brandon, I ask you, who do you got? Do you have the Denver Broncos or do you have the Tennessee Titans?
I can't believe I'm doing this to myself. I'm going Denver.
Okay.
I can't believe I'm doing this to myself.
Okay.
Good. It's only because I think Denver could stop the run for just a drive or two. And that's pretty much what they need. They just need to stop Derrick Henry for some of the game. Not all of the game, because you're not going to stop Derrick Henry for all the goddamn game. No.
Of course not. You're not.
You can get him for like a good 30, okay, not 30, but at least five drives. You can kind of like sustain that situation. You couldn't win the game. Malik Willis literally has nobody to the ball. Nobody. It was literally embarrassing to see Tennessee trying to find a person. Like, it's just like, this man is literally doing everything in his power to get some space just to throw the ball and just to know there's nobody open. That's embarrassing. That's freaking bad. And as good as Treylon Burks can be, you're going to get guarded by Patrick Surtain. So I know that shit ain't happening. So.
And Patrick Surtain, he smells blood in the water. He knows you're coming off injury. He knows he's on you. So.
It's to that point. I just think.
And Robert Woods didn't even. I totally forgot he was on that team.
Did anybody remember Robert Woods was on that team? I mean, listen, Denver just doesn't need to mess this up, and I hope that a bye week could finally wake that offense up. I don't think they need to do a lot. They just need to get to 20-something points, and they probably will win this game. So I got Denver.
Okay. Yeah, the problem with this, though, is that as good as Denver's pass defense is, they're not as good at stopping the run.
They suck.
It's not good. And over the last 3 weeks, what have we seen with Malik Willis and Derrick Henry? That's why I'm going Tennessee on this one, because there's nothing the Denver Broncos offense can't. I mean, let's be realistic about this. Why did we expect the Denver Broncos to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars? Not because of offense, because of that defense. And Trevor Lawrence, he kind of crapped the bed in London against the Broncos. This is not the case. This is not one of these cases. This is not this case for the Tennessee Titans. They know the Denver Broncos' weakness, and they're going to attack it. And now without Bradley Chubb, who was statistically their best run defender, he's gone. He's gone. He ain't coming back. And everybody else in that Denver defense, I don't know, man. So put it this way. I get it. You have Melvin Gordon, Latavius Murray, but the Tennessee Titans have Derrick Henry and Malik Willis, who are going to overplay their strength to attack the biggest weakness of the Denver Broncos, that eventually somebody has to get open. You can't do this again. If you're Tennessee again, then this offseason, you need to sign every damn free agent wide receiver you can. Like every single damn one. So I'm going to go Tennessee in this one only because they're at home. And honestly, the Denver Broncos are coming off a bye. And usually when you come off a bye in a game like that, it's pretty hard to get your rhythm again. And I think Tennessee is going to catch them. So give me Tennessee over Denver. So here we go. Next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jacksonville Jaguars taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jaguars, they came back from a impressive victory over the Raiders, being down 20-10 in the second half, and they ended up scoring 17 unanswered points to win the game 27-20. Kansas City had to go into overtime to beat the Tennessee Titans, which almost ended in a tie had they not. It was kind of bad. Like, they didn't convert on that fourth down, because if they did, something tells me that they probably would have kept marching on. But it is what it is. So, Brandon, who do you have, the Jaguars or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Is that a question? I mean,
I know.
I got Patrick Mahomes. I got Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is early in the season. I would think Jacksonville would catch them because they're probably sleepwalking through the game. But because what we just said earlier, that Buffalo could possibly lose. You have the number one seed now if you win.
Yeah.
Which means Buffalo's coming to you again. You might want to win this goddamn game.
And you might want to take advantage of every single game now if you're Kansas City. Yeah, listen, I got the Chiefs too. And it's not even close. It is not even close. It's just one of those things where, all right, Jacksonville, you're improving, but let's be real. Your quarterback is still not improving with you. If anything, he's regressing. Under Doug Peterson, who's a quarterback-friendly coach, and he's regressing to the max. He's still causing turnovers by himself and his interceptions. So, again, I'm not saying that he didn't deserve to be the number one pick, but I want people to start realizing maybe we overvalued this guy just a little bit.
Don't tell that to the people that love Trevor Lawrence on these sports shows, because he is the best. He's going to figure it out.
Yeah. It's not like I see him. It's not like I go for Miami and I saw Clemson and I know the real success of Clemson all those years. And it is what it is. So, anyway, give me the Kansas City Chiefs. So next up, we got the Cleveland Browns taking on the Miami Dolphins. Miami, an impressive showing of offensive athleticism with no defense, and the Cleveland Browns. I think last time we saw them was against that Monday Nighter, right? Against the Cincinnati Bengals, shocked the world. It is what it is. This time they are going to go up against another offensive juggernaut that the defense has to try to duplicate what they did on Monday night a couple of weeks ago. So, Brandon, I ask you, who do you have? Do you have the Cleveland Browns or do you have the Miami Dolphins?
This feels so much like a live up for Miami.
Yeah.
Right? It just feels like a live up. You're at home, 135-32. It feels like a perfect game for Miami. It just sucks that their defense sucks.
Yep.
And that defense is terrible. Cleveland's coming off of a 5, which means Myles Garrett is again healthy after a car wreck and pretty much being Joe Burrow's nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
So, meet your nightmare, because Myles Garrett is a company. And I got Cleveland. I just can't see Miami winning this game. This is one of those games, again, where you're going to see if the O-line can hold up against a team like this. And I don't think Miami has an offensive line that can hold up against Cleveland. They can do certain things, and they're going to do certain things. But if you can get your offense on the field to run the ball, control clock, like Cleveland can with Nick Chubb, this is going to be a very bad situation for Miami. This is going to be one of those games where Tua comes back down to earth, and people are going to be like, oh, wait, Miami might not be as good as we think. No shit. Miami's going to lose this game. I got Cleveland.
Okay. You know, one thing I've learned about Cleveland over the years is when they look good one week, you expect them to keep looking like this every week, right? Here's the thing. Miami has at least shown that, oh, we suck on defense, but I know we can score because I have two of the baddest wide receivers in the game right now. One in Tyreek Hill and one in Jalen Waddle, and the running game is amazing. They're replicating the San Francisco 49ers running game. Doesn't matter who's out there, somebody's going to have a big game. Last week, a couple weeks ago, it was Raheem Mostert. This last week, it was Jeff Wilson. Imagine that. Imagine that, right? So, as much as I would know that this feels like a trap game for Miami, I'm still going to go with Miami on this one. Only because of the fact that I cannot trust the Cleveland Browns to look good back-to-back weeks. They just haven't done it consistently enough for me this year to have no faith in them. To have no faith. I understand where you're going with it. This is a game that probably Cleveland is going to win, and I can accept that. But I just don't see it because Cleveland hasn't shown it to me that they can do it back-to-back weeks. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I got Miami. I get it. It's Nick Chubb. I get it. Who is it gonna run through that Miami's defense right now? I get it. I get it. But at the same time, it is Cleveland, and when have they ever shown to be consistent 2 games in a row?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Give me Miami on this one. Next up, we have the Houston Texans taking on the New York Giants. Houston put up a valiant effort against the Philadelphia Eagles last week, and then it was over by the kickoff of halftime. It was over. The New York Giants are coming back off of a bye, so they're healthy. They're ready to go. I guess we're both. I think we're in the same boat, right? You got the Giants.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Okay, I mean, I get it. The Giants don't have any wide receivers. I get it, but yeah, Dameon Pierce is on the injury report, and he is questionable to play. And if Dameon Pierce goes down, yeah, we're good. So give me the Giants. There's a reason why Houston is projected to pick number 1 right now. Because of that reason. So give me the Giants over the Houston Texans. So we can move on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Next up, we got the New Orleans Saints taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. New Orleans, a tough defeat at the hands of Baltimore on Monday Night Football just a couple days ago. The Pittsburgh Steelers shambles is not even the word to use right now. They are just I think it's disbelief. To me, I think that would be the word. I think I'm in disbelief on how the Pittsburgh Steelers look right now. It is just so bad, and it's not even the Pittsburgh Steelers that I know to grow up in. And as we mentioned this morning on our show, Jalen Warren looks like he's going to be getting more touches. And it could be, like I said, I think it's just due to the injury of Najee Harris. And TJ Watt's on a clock now. They only have a little bit of more time to either they want to put him back on the roster or they put him on injured reserve for good. So the time it's up to Pittsburgh now. So Brandon, I ask you, who do you got? Do you have the Saints or do you have the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Oh, good God.
I know. I looked at this game both ways and every other round you could think of.
Okay. I was thinking who's the most desperate, and it's the Saints. They got to win this game.
Yeah.
They have to win this game. If they don't win this game, they're in the same boat Pittsburgh's in, where it's just like, just wrap it up. It's over. You don't have a chance. Even in the NFC South, you don't have a chance because it's just like you can't beat simple teams that's not supposed to be beating you. That's a problem. I don't care who's the quarterback. You can't beat simple teams. Jarvis, they keep saying he might be back. Marshawn Lattimore is pretty much probably going to be out for the rest of the year. He's got a download problem, but it's really his kidney. He might have a real kidney problem, so he might be out for the rest of the freaking year because he's not coming back anytime soon. I think our defense can, for the most part, our defense played pretty well until they were just so afraid of Lamar running the ball that they forgot their assignments, and that's you can't do that. Mm-hmm. And I think that knowing that it's Kenny Pickett, Dennis Allen should figure something out to get him out of the mood early. And plus, if Najee Harris isn't technically playing, we don't know what Deontay Johnson's going to be mentally going into this game because he's pretty much not the guy anymore. He's not number one anymore. It's one of those games where you should win. You should win. So I got the Saints. I'm not freaking happy about it. I'm going to be honest. I'm not happy because we should win, but I would not be surprised if we fucking lose too.
It's one of those. It's one of those catch-22s, huh?
Yeah, I got it, but I don't freaking know. We shall see.
Yeah, I think in this one, I'm gonna go with the team that actually has more answers than problems right now, and I think that's the Saints. I think the Saints defensively have found their footing. The offense. Listen, both of these offenses are not good, but I know this much. I know Chris Olave is a better option right now than anybody the Steelers have right now. And that's including Deontay Johnson. I know Alvin Kamara is a better answer than Najee Harris and Jalen Warren combined. I know Taysom Hill is a better answer than Pat Freiermuth at tight end. So in the end, what I see happening here, really what it comes down to is Mike Tomlin is the better coach. But his players are so banged up that it's just getting to a point now where this is going to be the worst season for Mike Tomlin ever. He's heading into that point now where he's actually going to get his first losing record as a head coach. And that's sad. And nobody's talking, and now nobody wants to fire him. But it's funny when people want to fire him when he's like 6-3. I don't know. People are nuts. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints on this one too. And it's just because, one, Andy Dalton will get it figured out, and Kenny Pickett's still learning. But he's going through these tough defenses right now, so that way when he does come back and he is the full-time starter and not having to wait 3-4 weeks, it's go time. So give me the New Orleans Saints over the Pittsburgh Steelers this week. Next up, we have, oh good God, the Indianapolis Colts taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. So for the people that don't know, Do you think it's funny how Jeff Saturday, as an ESPN analyst, tweeted a couple weeks ago, like, God, the Raiders are terrible, and now he's the interim head coach to play or to coach against the Raiders? Like, isn't that kind of funny how life works sometimes?
We shall see how terrible they're about to be.
I mean, we're about to find out, but so for the people that don't know, Jeff Saturday is gonna make his debut as the interim head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. The Las Vegas Raiders are trying to find a way to at least give their fans a little bit of hope that, hey, I know our season didn't pan out the way we wanted to, but believe in us. Still believe in us. Even with the shitty ass defense that we have, still believe in us. So, Brandon, I ask you, who do you have? Do you have the Indianapolis Colts or the Las Vegas Raiders?
It's the same thing that I just said about the Steelers and the Saints. Who needs it more? It's the Raiders. It's not because you guys have a chance at playoffs. It's because Josh McDaniels better win this fucking game because his ass is fired if he doesn't. Like, it's just like...
There would be conversations. I think if he loses this game, there would be conversations.
It has to be a conversation. Like, there's no way in hell you love Jeff Saturday, who literally was just in New York on Get Up on ESPN in mornings, come in to your building and beat you. There's no way in hell you don't get at least, we're going to have to, ask for your parking badge back. Like, it's just, you cannot let that happen. You got Devontae Adams, you got Josh Jacobs, you got Derek Carr. Darren Waller, I don't know if he's healthy or not. I don't freaking care. Hunter Winthrow is. You better figure it the fuck out. There is no way in hell. And they got Sam Ehlinger, no Jonathan Taylor. You better win this.
Well, Jonathan Taylor did practice today, so it's a possibility that he might play.
Is he going to physically play the game? Like, he can practice all the fuck he wants. He still will probably miss a game. That is what I'm saying. Like, they have to win this game. And the Raiders are better. You know this, and I know this. They're better at home. Where are they at?
At home.
They're going to beat the living hell out of the Colts.
Okay. Yeah.
Especially losing last week the way they lost. Oh, God, they're going to beat the hell out of the Colts.
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. I think there has to be a discussion. Should the Raiders lose this game, Josh McDaniels has to go. Like, or maybe not Josh McDaniels, but somebody on that staff has to go. Because somebody has to go. Somebody has to get benched. And it's just time to understand that it is a rebuild in Vegas now. So I think with that being said, I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one too. There's just no way. You got to be kidding me. There's just no way this man can lose to a quarterback that doesn't have more than 5 starts in his resume. A guy who was just an analyst 96 hours ago. There's no way. There's no way. And if they do, some heads are going to have to roll. And fast.
Yeah, he's getting fired. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, like, at this point, it's like, all right, Josh, we're done. Like, you can't even handle this. Then how do I expect you to really function a team that's going to compete, that I expect to compete for division title? It's just, there's no way the Raiders should lose this, but if there's a team that will lose a game like this, it's them. So I'm on the same boat as you, but I'm going to go with the Raiders on this one as well. Next up, we have the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Green Bay Packers. Look, do we really need to get into this? All right. Look, the Dallas Cowboys are coming off their bye. They're healthier now. Micah Parsons healthy. Zeke Elliott's healthy. Dak Prescott's healthier. Everybody in the Dallas team is healthier. And there's a possibility that OBJ might be signing for the Dallas Cowboys here very, very soon. The Green Bay Packers have now lost, and I checked 5 in a row. They have lost 5 in a row. I don't know what else to say other than I got Dallas. I have Dallas. There it is.
I have something to say. Green Bay, congratulations. You signed Jonathan Abram, who's a safety. He's not a receiver. He's a safety. Yeah. I don't think you need help defensively. You need help offense.
Yeah.
David Bakhtiari who's your best tackle, is day-to-day every week. He's day-to-day every week. We don't freaking know if he's ever going to be 100%. And that's the guy that's got to protect Aaron Rodgers against Michael Parsons. Good luck. You better have receivers, and now you got to have Michael Parsons literally like Hulk versus Loki. It's gonna get bad. Just tossing them any which way. It's gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad.
And not only that, Aaron Jones is dealing with an ankle injury, so
you can't run the ball. You barely throw the ball. It's Ezekiel Elliott probably is back. And he's healthy. And he's gonna play this week probably too.
but Tony Pollard should take more of the snaps.
But you're gonna have Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. You might have Odell Beckham. I don't think he's coming this week, but at least
Soon. Once Odell gets cleared, he'll make his decision.
This is going to be a very bad situation. Like what I said earlier today, I wouldn't be surprised Matt LaFleur is looked at like, well, you're the problem. Because they can't do anything with Aaron Rodgers because they pretty much have begged him to stay for so long. So it's kind of like, we need a scapegoat, and you're the one. So, and you don't think Mike McCarthy wants to beat Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, he's salivating at this opportunity. He's salivating.
Of all places, Mike McCarthy wants to beat Aaron Rodgers on TV in Green Bay.
You have to figure at this point, if the Green Bay Packers offense sputters again for 6 games in a row and they lose this Sunday, don't you think it's maybe time to see what you have in Jordan Love? Just for, hey, either this kid's got it or he doesn't, and if he does have something, we can make the decision of either keeping him or trading him for some picks.
Well, here's the thing. Green Bay would, what is Green Bay? 3 and something?
They are 3-6.
And they just lost Detroit, who's 2-6. If Detroit beat Chicago, they jumped them.
That's what I'm saying.
So the season's pretty much done for Green Bay, if you think about it.
But that's what I'm saying. Don't you think maybe it's time to see what you got in Jordan Love? To, hey, either he plays really well for us and we start winning, and hey, maybe we can get this kid somewhere to go who needs a quarterback, or he sucks so bad that it's like, you know what? We made the mistake, and now we got to live with it.
And that's the thing. Listen, Aaron Rodgers is done. He's done. I told you, I said, to come into the season, this is the last year we're going to see Aaron Rodgers. This dude's done. He's retired.
Unless he wants to do the Green Bay thing, unless he wants to do the Brett Favre thing and go play for Minnesota next year.
They might keep Kirk Cousins, which is funny as hell.
They might tag him. Just for...
That'd be so awful. Like, you did all this winning, and then just tag you.
He's like, man, it's like I'm in Washington again. It's like I'm in Washington again. Damn it. But I will say this then. I will say this in regards of Dallas cannot afford to lose this game, but neither can Green Bay. And I think that's why it's going to be very competitive. I think it'll be competitive up until the third, but that if the Green Bay offense sputters in the beginning, it's over. It's over from the get-go.
Dallas offense can't also sputter. Dallas can have those moments too where they just forget how to play football.
Yep.
But
the problem is the defense for Dallas makes it up.
Yeah, and they can't. For both teams, neither one of these offenses can have a moment where they just don't show up.
Yep.
Because anything can happen. But Rashawn Gary's hurt. Green Bay is just banged up, and I think Dallas wins because they're banged up. Dallas is not. Michael Parsons is coming. And like I said, we don't know if David Bakhtiari is even healthy to even play.
And that's an issue.
That's a massive issue.
So, yeah, I got Dallas on this one too. Next up, we have 2 teams that are desperate for wins. I mean, desperate, bro. We have the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Rams. The Arizona Cardinals sputtered last week. I mean, they just did not look good last week. They didn't look good whatsoever. The Los Angeles Rams, no better. They let a 45-year-old quarterback march down the field. A team of no offensive identity, no less, to go down the field and let them score. Again, I get it. I get it. You have all this talent, but it's not working out. And this is something that we have to start keeping an eye on. So, Brandon, I guess I ask you, who do you have, Arizona or the Los Angeles Rams?
I'm going to pick Arizona regardless because I think they need to win more. Not the Rams. The Rams, I think, are like just mentally burned out. I think they're done. I think, like you just said, you're collecting the names, but after Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Bobby Wagner, like I've said numerous times, who else do you have defensively? Nobody. And that's kind of the problem. Matthew Stafford, it might really have a. I don't think Josh Allen has his type of UCL injury because Matthew Stafford's injury has been lingering since all season.
Yep.
He's never fixed it. It's been that way. And I think that's a problem. The fact that the offense literally looked like they did against Tampa Bay's defense is crazy. He just looked like I don't want to throw the ball at all down the field. Like
Nope.
it's just not gonna work. But Arizona needs this game more. Why? Because Sean McVay's job is still secure. Cliff Kingsbury's job is not. And that is the most important thing. And if Matthew Stafford really does have a concussion and can't play, I think this is a victory for Arizona. Not because Matthew Stafford would change the game, because the offense of the Rams already looks bad. Now you have no starting quarterback to even run that offense that you do have.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't run the ball. I think Arizona figures it out. D-Hop gets his revenge because remember, this is the last game he played before he got injured last year against the Rams.
Yep.
So I think he comes back and does his thing against Jalen Ramsey. I got the Arizona Cardinals.
I think it's very apparent to understand what's going on with the Rams. Yes, they're mentally burned out, but everybody that left, it impacted. And listen, Andrew Whitworth leaving was a big factor because Andrew Whitworth was the true professional at left tackle for all those years. For even in Cincinnati, he was the true professional. The Rams right now, they have no offensive identity. Cam Akers has given up on the team, and the Rams have given up on Cam Akers. That's one. Cooper Kupp can't do everything. He can't. Taylor Higbee was supposed to be a security blanket for Matthew Stafford. He is anything but that. Like, to me, defensively for the Rams right now, they just don't have that same identity that they had in years prior. There's just no identity there. There's no factor to it. Now, I still think that, yes, you're right. Sean McVay's job is secured. But it has to start wondering now, man, the players that we're paying are pretty old. And the draft picks we're getting are not meshing very well. I think this is kind of what it is. You sacrifice glory, you sacrifice future for a ring, and you got it. But now you're in a situation where if these guys suck, then our whole team sucks.
It kind of feels like Tampa, don't it?
Yep. But the thing is with Tampa, at least they try to make it work again. At least when Tampa won the Super Bowl, they made it back to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't think the Rams can even make it back right now. So that's why I got Arizona in this one too. How Arizona played last week, they should have won.
Yeah.
And now I think they're going to go up against an offensive line where Arizona's defense is just as good. They don't have the names, but they're just as good as the Los Angeles Rams defense. So I'm going to go with Arizona in this one.
Yeah.
And actually two more. The first one, Sunday Night Football, it is between the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. The Los Angeles Chargers came away with the victory over the Atlanta Falcons. Yep, I know. And the San Francisco 49ers are coming off a bye after the last time we saw them. They swept the Los Angeles Rams for the fourth time in a year. For the fourth time, in 8 times in 4 years, they've beaten the Los Angeles Rams. All right, yada, 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 whatever. So here we go again. The Los Angeles Chargers are still dealing with injuries. They don't know if Keenan Allen's coming back. Austin Eckler will be back. It's just a big mess with the Los Angeles Chargers right now. And the San Francisco 49ers, Elijah Mitchell will be back. Don't need him, but they have him now. They'll have him now. But the San Francisco 49ers are healthy. And if they continue to stay healthy, they will keep in track pace with the Seattle Seahawks for that division. So, Brandon, I guess I ask you, who do you have? The Los Angeles Chargers or the San Francisco 49ers?
This feels like a game again with San Francisco. It's alive, and you should win. It feels easy for San Francisco. You're at home. Everybody's back. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to show the hell up? And it kind of is like the thing. It's like, if he shows up, then you're good. If he doesn't, then
there's a problem.
Good God, pray. Like, it's just like, oh.
You better pray that your defense bails you out with points or something.
Yeah, but I think Christian McCaffrey, another couple weeks in the offense. You got Debo back, I'm assuming, this week too.
Yep, Debo is back.
Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle is starting to get his rhythm back, which is scary.
Yep.
And like you said, and this is the first time the Bosa brothers are going against each other. I don't know if Joey is going to play. I don't even know if Nick is going to play.
Nick will play. Nick, I think, will play. I think they'll both play.
Yeah, but Keenan Allen, I did not know how bad Keenan Allen really was for the Chargers, because he literally looks like, as soon as he got hurt, the offense just doesn't look right. And people can say it's just Justin Herbert getting hurt, but he still could get his stuff going. It's just like
Justin Herbert's hurt, but don't forget, Justin Herbert is still number 5 in passing yards.
It looks like he's just like, he doesn't trust anybody that's not Mike Williams
or Keenan Allen
or Austin Eckler. Like, he doesn't trust anybody that's not Mike Williams or Austin Eckler in that offense since Keenan Allen's been injured. He just don't trust anybody.
And don't forget, he has Gerald Everett. So it's very shocking to me to hear this right now.
I haven't heard his name since he's been signed. That's how bad it is. I
Yep.
haven't heard Jared Everett's name since he's been signed.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know.
It's bad. Listen, this is a lob up for San Francisco. Usually I don't like lob up games, but they're going to win. It's Sunday Night Football. They have to show to America that they are just as, probably not as, just as good. They're not even giving a damn about Seattle. Seattle's good, whatever. They're going to catch them. They don't care. The Rams are done. Arizona's done. They don't care. What they're trying to show people now is that we catch the Eagles. We're better than the Vikings. Like, that's their mind right now. And
Like right now, San Francisco's trying to play a game right now where they're going to play dangerous again. But the thing is, San Francisco's that team where they know how to play that game because they've done it in the past.
Yeah. And you say, they don't really need Elijah Mitchell. Yeah, they do. Because that offense, imagine Elijah Mitchell, Christian McCaffrey, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle on the field together. That is just ridiculous. And I'm afraid to see that offense. I got to see them in a couple weeks in San Francisco. I'm so not looking forward to that game. Oh, my God.
And that's the thing, too. I think that's the thing with San Francisco. They know that, okay, we'll get a wild card spot. If Seattle wins the division, fine, we'll get a wild card spot. But you think that teams like the Minnesota Vikings, the Giants, hell, maybe even Seattle, it's like, oh, my God, if we get the San Francisco 49ers in the wild card, holy crap. We know that we're going to get their best. And that's the thing. They've done this road before. So I'm going to take San Francisco as well, only because of the fact that the Chargers are just too banged up right now. They're too banged up, and there's nothing for me to believe that these guys can try to convince you that without Keenan Allen, their offense is okay. It's not okay. So give me the 49ers over the Los Angeles Chargers. And last but not least, we have our Monday night matchup between the Washington Commanders taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Washington Commanders, so close. If it wasn't for that one call, that one stupid call, I think Washington would have kept the drive going, and then we'll see what would have happened. Philadelphia, on the other hand, hey, they're as good as advertised. They're as good as advertised. And as long as the Saints keep losing, their pick only gets better and better and better. And the last thing we need is Philadelphia to keep reloading on that defense. Because you know that's what they're going to do. You know that's what they're going to do, bro. Like, oh my God.
You realize that Kobe Dean has not even been called yet.
Jordan Davis is injured. So they're reloading for a young defense that's going to be there for a very long time. So it is what it is. Me personally, I think when it comes to this game, this can go either one of two ways. Washington can keep playing as like they've been playing, and they've been playing pretty well. Washington has been playing very, very well under the services of Taylor Heinicke, and the offense looks better. Now the defense is still kind of, it's a hit or miss every single week. Last week was a good performance, just not good enough, unfortunately, at the end. And when you look at Philadelphia, they're just a team overall right now. There's a reason why they're the number one seed in the NFC and are trending upward to have home field advantage throughout the whole playoffs. So I guess, Brandon, I ask you before we close out our show, who do you have, the Washington Commanders or the Philadelphia Eagles? We have a comment here. AJB, Eagles by 52.
I got Washington.
Whoa.
Listen, I get it. Philly is just too damn dominant. It seems like this is just like Philly's table to run, right? Just feel like it's Philly's table to run. I just can't see Philly going undefeated.
No. Philadelphia's not going to go undefeated. Let's get that out of the way.
And I think because Washington isn't technically a team that people believe in, like you just said, the defense is hit and freaking miss. Who knows what that defense is going to be like for weeks going forward? But I think Washington has a game plan offensively that they know they're really good at. And for what Washington can do, you still got Deron Payne, still got Jonathan Allen in their front right there, ready for Jalen Hurts or that run play option. That's a problem. Chase Young is back now. He's finally he had a game under his belt. I'm pretty sure he's coming to wreck something. So if they can kind of keep the game in the trenches and not let Philly do the trick plays and get out of their game plan, pretty much get into their game plan, I think Washington can keep it close, and I think they win. I think Washington wins this game.
Yeah, I think it just gets me right now where I stand with the Washington Commanders, because I believe, with everything that Washington's doing. And I think Washington's doing everything they can to be relevant. And let's be real, Taylor Heinicke is saving Ron Rivera's job. Let's be real. Let's be real for 2 seconds here. Taylor Heinicke is doing everything he can to make himself stay available in the NFL, and he's saving Ron Rivera's job right now. I know.
I know.
I need to
remind people what I said before the season. I said Taylor Heinicke is going to save Washington. If you said I don't see it coming.
Yeah. And I get it. For Washington, let's be real, sell the franchise. I get it. Hey, I get it.
Please sell the franchise. Good God, sell the franchise.
I get it. Now, I will say this, though. There's really nothing where I can say bad about Washington. I can't. Because they're just a very balanced team offensively. Brian Robinson, he's doing his thing with Antonio Gibson. Terry McLaurin is finally showing something now that Taylor Heinicke's under the realm. The offensive line is playing better. And the defense, like I said, it's a hit or miss. Sometimes they look good, and sometimes it didn't work out that way. Okay, it just depends on how they feel and how they wake up that morning to go to work. You know, Philadelphia, on the other hand, there is no secret to them. They're the real deal. Everything that you think they are exactly what they are times tenfold. They have a great passing attack. They have a great running attack. Their defense is causing turnovers. Gardner-Johnson is leading the NFL in interceptions right now. I'm sorry that I have to bring this up to you right now, Brandon, but it happens. It happens like this. It happens like this, Brandon. It does. Gardner-Johnson is leading the NFL in interceptions, and he has Darius Slay as the opposite. He has Bradbury there with him as well. The fault of the Eagles, me personally, right now, what I think it is we're all waiting for that one trap. I think it could be this week. Well, they don't need to blitz. When you can only rush 4 and they get there, you don't need a blitz. As Dallas. All they did was rush 4 all game. They got there. They got to Cooper Rush. I think the fault of the Eagles right now is that we're all waiting for that one game where we're like, this is it. I think this is it. I believe that this is it. But I'm still going to go with Philadelphia. Now, would it surprise me if Washington wins this one? No, because this is what Washington tends to do. Win the games that nobody thinks they can. That's Washington's MO. But I'm just going to go with, I mean, that's the thing. It's just one of those things where we all say, everybody's saying that. It ain't going to be Washington. It ain't going to be Washington. And then when it comes to Monday Night Football, guess what? Holy crap, Washington's up by like 7 or something. I don't know. Some weird crap always happens with Washington. They're just that team where you just don't know. And I don't think Philadelphia even knows. So, like I said, I'm going with Philadelphia. I get it. The Eagles aren't a bye and they had that much time to prepare. But it's still Washington, and I don't know. I don't want to risk that. But I'm still going to go Philadelphia. Don't get me wrong here. But I think this is the one where we'll keep an eye out for this week's Monday night matchup. So there it is. But there it is. Oh man, yeah, that was one. That was the Chip Kelly one. But anyway, other than that, I mean, those are our picks. I mean, that's it. Week 10 is in the book. Well, Week 10 is going to start tomorrow. Our Week 10 is in the books, apparently. We will be back next week to make our Week 11 prediction matchups. We will also be back as well to recap everything that happened in the world of sports here on the All Sports Talk podcast on Instagram Live. But other than that, I do want to thank you, Brendan, for joining me again, as always. So let's take a little vacation. And until then, thank you for everybody tuning in today on the YouTube page. We will be back next Wednesday. So please tune into that one. Always, it is 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. And other than that, Brandon, I will see you next week, my man. Everybody, thank you that's going to tune into this later. Please, everybody, please be safe. Stay warm.